Welcome back to Islam in its own words. Today's video will cover topics relevant to the LGBT community as it relates to Islam. There's a peculiar trend of late where Western social and political progressives support both LGBTQ+ causes and Islam at the same time. This is despite the fact that the Islamic sources strongly condemn homosexual, lesbian, and transgender practice, which can be punishable by death. This video examines some of the portions of the Quran, Hadith, and Sharia manual that provide clear examples of this position. First, Quran chapter 4 verse 1 establishes the complementarity of men and women created as mates.
O mankind, fear your Lord, who created you from one soul and created from it its mate and dispersed from both of them many men and women. And fear Allah, through whom you ask one another, and the wombs. Indeed Allah is ever, over you, an observer.
And rebukes the practice of men leaving women for other men. Quran chapter 27 verses 54 to 58 and chapter 26 verses 165 to 166 say,
Do you really lust after men instead of women? In fact, you are only a people acting ignorantly. Do you approach males among the worlds and leave what your Lord has created for you as mates? But you are a people transgressing.
The Quran connects homosexual acts to the biblical story of Lot and the ancient cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. For example, chapter 7 verses 80 to 81.
And we had sent Lot when he said to his people, Do you commit such immorality as no one has preceded you with from among the worlds, i.e. peoples? Indeed, you approach men with desire, instead of women. Rather, you are a transgressing people.
The version of this story is found in the Quran in chapter 15 verses 61 to 77, which is basically just a paraphrase of what's found in the Torah.
So when the messenger angels came to the family of Lot, he said, You must be strangers. They responded, We have come to you with that torment which they have doubted. We come to you with the truth, and we are certainly truthful. So travel with your family in the dark of night, and follow closely behind them. Do not let any of you look back, and go where you are commanded. We revealed to him this decree, those sinners will be uprooted in the morning. And there came the men of the city, rejoicing. Lot pleaded, Indeed, these are my guests, so do not embarrass me. Fear Allah and do not humiliate me. They responded, Have we not forbidden you from protecting anyone? He said, O my people, here are my daughters, so marry them if you wish to do so. By your life, O Prophet. They certainly wandered blindly, intoxicated by lust. So the mighty blast overtook them at sunrise. And we turned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah upside down and rained upon them stones of baked clay. Surely in this are signs for those who contemplate. Their ruins still lie along a known route. Surely in this is a sign for those who believe.
Allah praises Lot for rebuking the perversions of the people in these ancient cities, according to chapter 21, verses 71 to 75.
And to Lot we gave judgment and knowledge, and we saved him from the city that was committing wicked deeds. Indeed, they were a people of evil, defiantly disobedient. And we admitted him into our mercy. Indeed, he was of the righteous.
In Islam, sodomy refers to homosexual acts. The Sharia manual clarifies its meaning within Islamic practice and codifies the punishment for sodomy as related to the story of Lot.
In more than one place in the Holy Quran, Allah recounts to us the story of Lot's people, and how he destroyed them for their wicked practice. There is consensus among both Muslims and the followers of all other religions that sodomy is an enormity. It is even viler and uglier than adultery. The legal penalty is obligatorily imposed upon anyone who fornicates or commits sodomy, no matter whether the person is a Muslim, non-Muslim subject of the Islamic State, or someone who has left Islam. If the offender is someone with the capacity to remain chaste, then he or she is stoned to death. Someone with the capacity to remain chaste, meaning anyone who has had sexual intercourse at least once with their spouse in a valid marriage, and is free, of age, and sane. A person is not considered to have the capacity to remain chaste if he or she has only had intercourse in a marriage that is invalid, or is prepubescent at the time of marital intercourse, or is someone insane at the time of marital intercourse who subsequently regains their sanity prior to committing adultery.
The punishment by stoning is confirmed by the Hadith in Ibn Majah 2561.
Whoever you find doing the action of the people of Lot, kill the one who does it, and the one to whom it is done.
According to Abu Dawud 40:18, individuals should not look at the nakedness of anyone of the same sex.
The Prophet said, A man should not look at the private parts of another man, and a woman should not look at the private parts of another woman. A man should not lie with another man without wearing lower garment under one cover, and a woman should not lie with another woman without wearing lower garment under one cover.
The Sharia manual defines what constitutes nakedness for men and women.
The nakedness of a man, meaning the counterpart of the female, including young boys, even if not yet of the age of discrimination, consists of the area between the navel and knees. The nakedness of a woman, even if a young girl, consists of the whole body except the face and hands. The nakedness of women is that which invalidates the prayer if exposed.
According to Abu Dawud 4098, Muhammad also condemned cross-dressing.
The Messenger of Allah cursed the man who dressed like a woman, and the woman who dressed like a man.
And he cursed effeminate men and masculine women in Bukhari 6834.
The Prophet cursed the effeminate men, and those women who assume the similitude, manners, of men. He also said, "Turn them out of your houses." He turned such and such person out, and Umar also turned out such and such person.
And then Abu Dawud 4099, Muhammad cursed mannish women.
Ibn Abu Mulaika told that, when someone remarked to Aisha that a woman was wearing sandals, she replied, "The Messenger of Allah cursed mannish women."
Seems quite clear from these verses that the Islamic sources forbid homosexual acts, as well as behaviors like cross-dressing, transgenderism, or even clothing that is too short. Which makes the following practice all the more controversial. It's well known that in Afghanistan and Pakistan, it's common for men to pay teen boys and young men to dress like women and dance for money. This practice, known as bachabazi, is sometimes framed as merely a cultural practice of the Pashtun tribes, and the punishment is not enforced as prescribed in the Islamic Sharia. Another controversial, but sahih or authentic hadith, concerns the infamous encounter that Muhammad had with the mysterious men of Al-Zud. This account, found in several hadith, including Musnad Ahmad 262, recalls a night where Muhammad meets a group of naked men in the desert who proceed to ride him all night long. Muhammad returns to his companion in the morning, worn out by the experience.
Abdullah ibn Masud related, "The Messenger of Allah sent for me, so we set out until I reached such and such a place, and he traced a line for me and told me, 'Stay between the two edges of this, don't go outside of it, if you go outside of it, it's over for you.' Abdullah said, 'And so I stayed there.' Then the Messenger of Allah went off a stone's throw away or a little farther. Then he, Abdullah, mentioned a group of male members, Hanin, i.e. men, who looked like Sut people. Affan narrated, 'They didn't have any clothes on, but I couldn't see their genitals, and they were tall and scrawny.' He, Abdullah, said, 'And they came and started to ride the Messenger of Allah, and the Prophet of Allah began to recite to them. And they started to move closer and lean around me, and get in my way, and I became intensely terrified of them, so I sat down. And when the morning light broke, they began to go away. Then the Messenger of Allah came back exhausted and in pain, or practically in pain, from how they had ridden him. He said, 'Indeed I am exhausted.' Then the Messenger of Allah put his head in my lap. And the men came with tall white garments on, but the Messenger of Allah had fallen asleep. And I became more intensely terrified of them than I was the first time."
As with all the videos in this series, make sure you check the notes in the description with links to all sources, including the IOW reference tool. This has been another episode of Islam in its Own Words. Thanks for watching. Check back again soon for the next episode.